Hello, hello, hello. Right, the Falklands is we've got great development. We were creating a one-to-one of Port Stanley. We have the owner has deep connections to the actual Falklands due to their family currently living there. We have an ownership team of 4 people currently consistently active. The military is ready to launch and combat ready for any time, any scenario. The foreign affairs team is ready to reach out and have been actively talking to people at this current time. And we have currently scheduled our launch date for the first SSU for the 21st of December. And I believe the Falklands has a lot to offer to UNV, as I don't see when any other Falklands is going to come here. It's not often a small nation like this is going to pop up. And I believe we have a lot to offer to UNV internationally and just community-wise. I spent a lot of time talking to members of the Falklands. They're all very nice, very lovely people. And I haven't seen any other community team that isn't as dedicated as the Falklands. I have not really much to say, but thank you for hearing me out today. Like, I've only just had a couple minutes to get us ready. Anyway, thanks for listening to me. Much love. Peace out.
There, bud. How's it going? All right. So I've been a member of the Falkland Islands for a little bit. I've been developing for them, and yeah, there's a lot of effort and money going into it. So I think all of you should go ahead and eye it. It's a very, very good item. It's a very good nation to have here, and so yeah, I don't have much to say on this topic, but go ahead and eye it. Very, very good nation. They'll be very active, and Glorious Revolt is definitely a good community owner. So if you nay this, you're not really thinking straight there. Thanks, Present.
Hello? A ton of people are saying they can't hear you, and I think they're trolling, but maybe they're not because it's been like a lot of people.
But here's the thing: if me and T Soups can hear you, and a few other people can hear you, then you know.
Dude, I really think it's a troll, but like everybody is saying they can't hear you.
I think. Well, Josh Flavia said T Soup. Why would we lie? Josh Flavia is a pathological liar.
Yeah, but I got Samosas behind me saying that he can't hear Rethusen.
Samosas is a pathological liar too.
Hello,
Okay,
hello.
whatever. I'm just saying.
Can you all hear me? What was the difference? What? Okay, I apologize, everyone. I'm on my phone. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 16, the nays are 1, the abstentions are 4. And if we add the EHGA votes, that would be the A's are 18, the nays are still 1, and the abstentions are 5. Monaco passes. Welcome to the UN. Okay, next on the agenda are member nations, the first of which is Switzerland, owned by that guy you hate, 11. I do believe he is here today, so he's invited to speak on stage. Please raise your hand because there's like 50 people in the audience. There you go. Okay, you may begin. I'm not talking right now, so I don't know if you guys are trolling me, but I'm just sitting silent.
Never mind. I figured out the problem.
All right,
Okay.
let's start.
All right. So I'm speaking on behalf of that guy you hate, 11. The reason you should vote in Switzerland is because we are having a great development progress on our game. We are expected to be in full motion of our game very soon. Not to mention, we have a great foreign affairs ministry as currently, which I am the current minister of foreign affairs, and we are open to reach out and see for other nations. Not to mention, we also have a great funding of Robux for our game as well, which can provide a lot of financial support if needed to the group, such as the UN. Not to mention, the owner is a Swiss immigrant to the United States, and he does have a lot of cultural ties to Switzerland. He does understand the importance of Swiss culture being more improvised in places that aren't really improvised in. So that's all I have.
All right, thank you. The floor is now open to speakers who wish to speak for or against the admission of Switzerland to the United Nations. Okay, Pakistan is organized to speak for. You'll be given 60 seconds to speak as soon as the countdown ends. Sure. Thank you. Okay, the floor is still open to anyone who wishes to speak for or against. If there are no speakers and a motion to vote being raised and seconded, we will now move to vote. Okay, voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this item, the A's are 20, the nays are 0, the abstentions are 1. And if we add EHA votes, the A's are 22, the nays are still 0, and the abstentions are 2. Switzerland passes. Welcome to the UN. Okay, next on the agenda is Denmark, owned by DEN founder, and they're applying to replace the current Denmark, which requires Security Council. The representative is invited to speak for 90 seconds. One moment.
Is the mic working?
Yep, you may begin.
Your Excellencies, distinguished delegates, and honored members of the international community, the Kingdom of Denmark stands before you today in a new chapter of our national story, marked by renewal, resolve, and a united sense of purpose. In recent weeks, our nation undertook the first national referendum in Danish history, a vote that engaged 65 citizens, each participating in a spirit of civic duty and our democratic conviction. The question was clear: should Denmark depart from our former UN, and should we instead seek admission into this UN? The result was decisive. With a clear mandate from our people, we have chosen to leave our previous international alignment and pursue full membership within UNV. This is not a symbolic gesture. This was the collective will of an active and engaged citizenry determined to shape Denmark's future on the international stage. Denmark today is more internally vibrant than ever before. We are a nation alive with activity, robust internal government, and frequent national events, civic participation, and a renewed sense of unity and direction. We will bring with us not only our history, but a thriving community ready to contribute meaningfully to global dialogue. Should this Assembly and the United Nations Security Council choose to grant our admission, Denmark stands ready to host international events, contribute constructively to UNV, and assume the responsibilities for replacing the current Denmark and exceed expectations. Our intention is not to merely join, but to enhance the collective work of the UN. It is important to note that Denmark's current representatives themselves fully acknowledge and support our taking up the mantle. We come not in dispute or conflict, but with continuity, legitimacy, and a shared understanding that this new Denmark needs to lead with dignity, responsibility, and renewed energy. Denmark asks for your confidence, and I now yield the floor.
Thank you. Your time is up. The floor is now open to speakers for and against. Canada is recognized to speak for. Then we will allow Ireland.
Yeah, thanks. Just let me know.
You may begin.
Okay. So I was the Danish Prime Minister, Chief of the Defense Staff, etc., for a while, and I'm here to kind of. I'm not representing Denmark, but I want to speak on behalf of Cedric Norgard and Brisket, the Crown Prince of Denmark, in saying that they want the applying Denmark to replace them. So just keep that in mind. They are completely open to the applying Denmark replacing them. The Crown Prince and the King have both acknowledged this. Okay, I'm seeing a lot of Y's in the chat. They want to be replaced because at this point, their Denmark isn't stable enough to be a member of UNverse, and they would much rather. Cedric's currently visiting his family. He's taking a little personal bit for himself. He's also in the military full time, so he's always busy. But the applying Denmark, because the current Denmark is telling you, and yes, Cedric is busy. And yes, he sent me a snap message, so.
Thank you, Canada. Ireland is recognized for 60 seconds.
Oh yeah, let me know I'm good. Just let me know. All right, so I could not understand what the Danish guy was saying, like the first one, but that doesn't matter. I'm just gonna be honest. This supply in Denmark looks good. They have activity in that. You know, they've got good development and stuff. You know, we should probably let them in. As Sapere said, the current Denmark wants to be replaced. Cedric is usually busy, so I think we should let in this new Denmark. You know, they're a prospect, good development and stuff. Good guys. Talked to their king. I talked to some of their parliamentary members. Good people all around. So yeah, you know, let them in. I guess it would be really good if we could let them in. Yeah, just aid them. That's kind of it. They're active. They've got good development, and they'll contribute a lot. So yeah, thank you, thank you. I'm Irish. I'm not from Africa, but thank you, Grimabel, for that comment. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Ireland. Okay, we've already had 2 speakers for, so the floor is open to anyone who wishes to speak against. But if not, if there's a motion to vote and a second, we will move to vote. Okay, we will now vote. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 19, the nays are 0, the abstentions are 0. And if we add the votes from the EHGA, the A's are 22, the nays are still 0, and the abstentions are still 0. Denmark passes unanimously and is sent to the Security Council with their approval. And the next item on the agenda is Thailand, owned by Non-Villiers, and they're applying to replace the current Thailand. I don't think their representative is here today. So the floor is open to speakers for and against. Kazakhstan is recognized to speak for. Then we'll allow Russia to speak for.
Hello.
Hello, give me 1 second, then you can start.
Oh, okay.
Okay, you may begin.
Okay. Kazakhstan, I believe, with the rest of majority of Asia, is going to be eyeing Thailand's entrance. And while we have a deep respect for our current Thailand, they have just really lost activity over the past 6 months that they've been here, and we haven't seen them post in a while. I think that a really big Thailand like this, the reason that they're not here is just because they are all Thai. Everything in their server is Thai. But the group is amazing. It's large, it's active, it's well performing in the UN that they were in. And I think that you should all eye them. If you haven't checked out the group, you should check it out now because they deserve to be here. And I yield.
Thank you, Kazakhstan. Russia is recognized to speak for. You can start as soon as the countdown is over.
Hi, delegates. Basically, you should eye this Thailand because I've known them for a pretty known while. They've been really active. They engage in foreign diplomacy, and I've hosted several summits in their old UN. They're pretty active. They know what they're doing. Even though they have a Thai community, they still have a very active community, foreign affairs that is that does no English, so that won't be an issue if you guys ever want to meet with them. Thailand and I have had a great history. We've both been in the same UN. I believe we have had great relations in that old UN too. And I believe that Thailand will also bring a positive impact on Asian representation, and it will also bring a positive effect on United Nations verse activity as well. We should eye nations like these and open a new era for UNverse, the Russian Federation.
Okay, thank you, Russia. Okay, a motion to vote being raised, and there being a second, we will now move to vote. Voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 17, the nays are 1, the abstentions are also 1. And if we add the votes from EHGA, the A's are 19, the nays are still 1, and the abstentions are 2. Thailand passes. Welcome to the UN. Okay, we will now move to bills and resolutions. The first of which is the Judicial Independence and ICJ Protection Act. Pros are Russia. This amends the charter, so this requires 2/3 of the General Assembly and Security Council. Russia is invited to speak on behalf of their resolution.
Hi, I'm already on stage, so I'll just speak. Basically, the reason you should eye this resolution is because right now it's kind of very risky to allow the General Assembly to just by majority to overrule ICJ decisions. Right now, the ICJ decisions may, for example, make an important decision. However, the General Assembly is kind of known as a joke. No offense to the nations here, but the General Assembly rarely acts professional, and there has been a lot of issues about this chamber. However, this resolution allows the United Nations Security Council to also have a say. Right now, it only allows the General Assembly to overall decisions about made by the ICJ with a 2 out of 3 majority. However, I believe that the Security Council should also have a say on this with a 2 out of 3 majority as well. We shouldn't allow the General Assembly based on themselves to just overrule decisions. As I stated, for those reasons as well, I highly ask everyone to eye this. I'm not LARPing. Yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say.
Thank you, Russia. The floor is now open to speakers for and against this resolution. Canada is recognized to speak for.
I'm not going to take up much time at all. I just wanted to say that I collaborated a little bit with Russia on this to make sure that the Security Council can still overturn judicial proceedings with a 2/3 majority. Because the Security Council is a higher legislative body. T-Soups caught me there. So go ahead and eye it because, you know, Russia's an incredible nation, and we just need Russia to create all of our bills from here on out.
Thank you. Okay, the floor is open still. The speakers for and against. Ireland is recognized to speak against. Don't start until the countdown is over. Then I'll bring you up on stage.
Yeah, you can go ahead and start it. Well, I don't know about you guys, but I've just been called a joke, basically. They've just called us all a joke. They've called the UNG a joke. They're taking away our democracy to vote. They've called us a joke, basically. I've just been insulted by the Russians, okay? I'm not a joke. I'm as serious as it gets, okay? I give it to you straight up, yeah? And I will not be taking this disrespect to call this assembly. I'm not a joke, shut up. Take this assembly as a joke, alright? We are very serious people. No, I'm always serious. We are very serious people, okay? We are very serious people, and we should get a say, okay? Right? Because not all of you are on the Security Council, but your opinion matters. You know what I'm saying? Everyone's opinions matters, and everyone should get a vote at the end of the day to overturn stuff, okay? Because it might be biased, it might be crap. Everyone should get a vote. At the end of the day, we shouldn't take away our democracy, and they could be called a joke. But all I say is the truth. Yeah. But I love Russia. Yeah, I love Russia though. So you know, as I've.
Thank you, Ireland. Point of information. Okay, point of information has been raised by Russia to clarify that the General Assembly and Security Council votes on it. Not just the Security Council. Sorry, I had to do something there for a second. Australia is recognized to speak against. I've been notified through private message. Then we allow Kazakhstan to speak for. Australia, please raise your hand. Oh, is Kazakhstan speaking for or is Australia speaking for? Okay, Australia is recognized to speak for. Please raise your hand. I'll bring you up on stage.
Yeah, sorry. In the Netherlands, we got the new chat control thing. In January, we will all have it. So yeah, then it's not a problem anymore. But short and all, I think it's a good idea because if there are some nations that are working together to overrule something by the court that has been officially legalized, I think that's corruption, and yeah, that shouldn't be possible in a democratic and everything situation. And also what Ireland said, Russia, it's an offense you call this chamber a joke. Please don't do that again. That's all. Please vote a yay for the bill, but that's all. I yield my time, President. Sorry. I was seated.
Thank you, Australia. DPRK is recognized to be against. Please raise your hand. I'll bring you up on stage, unless you want to do text.
All right. Hello. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Lovely. The Democratic People's Republic of Korea rejects the insult to this chamber, claiming that it is a joke. And frankly, this bill simply limits the power of the 66 member states with voting powers in this room. And to be frank, with the current in weeks past, seeing as the United Nations Security Council has voted opposite of what the General Assembly has voted, I think it's now more than ever important that we return power to the General Assembly and ensure that we invoke our rights to not only overturn the International Court of Justice, but to support what we would like to support. I will yield the rest of my time.
Okay, how many of you guys were able to hear? Because I was able to hear it, but people are saying they're not able to. Okay. Point of information raised by Russia. And is there a second to the motion to extend debate? The point of information raises that the General Assembly and Security Council both vote on overturning the decisions per this bill. Okay, a motion to extend debate was seconded. This is not traditional, but I'll allow one more speaker for and one against. Okay, Kazakhstan, you can speak for.
Hello.
Hello, you may begin.
Okay. I am not a Russia glazer. I'm not going to be sapper. And I also don't think the UNGA is a joke. And I don't believe that's what the Russian rep was trying to say. I think that the UNGA is a professional body and that it does its job well. But this act makes it to where ICJ is also a respected body. And that's what we should be going for. It's a really competent team. Their rulings shouldn't be able to be overturned with just a simple majority in the UNGA. And I think having a Security Council supermajority as well just adds respect to that body. All of the rulings so far have been great, and I trust that we can give them this power, and I think that you all should as well. Again, UNGA is not a joke. We're doing well. Let's let the ICJ do well. And I yield.
Okay, thank you, Kazakhstan.
No problem.
The floor is open to one more speaker against, but if there are none, and a motion vote being raised and seconded, we will now move to vote. Okay, voting is open. Please vote. Okay, one moment. Okay, with the EHA votes, the votes are 12 ayes, 7 nays, and 1 abstention. So the resolution fails because it needs 2/3. And 12 out of 20 is not 2/3. Okay, a motion to revote being raised and seconded. We will now Revote. Okay, we will allow one speaker for and one against per the rules for revoting. Russia is recognized for. You may begin.
Hi. I'd like to reiterate that I did not mean to call United Nations General Assembly a joke by the definition of Cambridge. However, I'd just like to say that there's a lot of personal bias made when voting. For example, people change their votes when they immediately see how things are going on or how others are voting on each other. So, the Security Council is, I suppose, it's let's say, adds more respect, as T-Soup said, adds more respect to the ICJ, adds more respect to their decisions, and ensures that their decisions are harder to overturn. I would like to say that the General Assembly does have a say in everything, because if the motion does fail to overturn decisions by the ICJ and the General Assembly fails, it will not be going into the Security Council for them to overturn. So there's basically going to be less room for political interference, and this prevents. This main goal of the this bill is to just prevent political interference, just from the General Assembly. If people just gather enough to just overturn the decision by their own. The Russian Federation, get out my seat.
Thank you, Russia. We'll allow one speaker against. And if there is no one want to speak against, we will recognize a motion to vote. And if there's a second, we will now vote. Voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 9, the nays are 5, the abstentions are 1. The revote fails. Point of information by Canada.
If I just kind of say it out loud here. For all of you saying add the EHGA votes, the EHGA didn't revote on it, so you don't count the EHG votes on the revote here.
That is true. Yeah. Okay. The next resolution on the agenda is the resolution on decorum and conduct during sessions proposed by myself, Indonesia, and Canada. I will allow Canada to speak for.
Okay, let me know. Just let me know.
You may begin.
All right. So for a while now, oh, Housemaker's calling me a fake country. For a while now, we've had some issues with decorum and conduct during General Assembly sessions. Now, I'm not going to pull a Russia and call the General Assembly a joke, but obviously, you know, we do have some issues that we need to kink out here and there. So it's very important that we pass this resolution to, yeah, I'm switching up on Russia now too. It's very important we pass this resolution because, you know, we need decorum to an extent. This resolution doesn't bar you from, it doesn't restrict you from doing, you know, anything you want. You can still say what you want. You still have free speech, etc., etc. but it creates kind of a boundary or a baseline for being respectful, and Taiwan can add more to it, as Rathusen was the one that created it in the first place, but it's pretty much the basis. It gives us a baseline to have some decorum around here. Russia.
Okay, thank you. Do any nations wish to speak for or against this resolution? Ireland is recognized to be against.
Yep. Happy days are at an end, my friends. That's all I'm gonna say. Happy days are at an end. Basically, there's no explanation whatsoever what the bill contained. They just kind of like said it was gonna give us a baseline. How wasn't explained. They needed to go more in depth. I have no clue what the fuck this is about. This bill was kind of made to rapture me and Streamer All. I kind of have a feeling about that. But I feel like it creates a baseline. Yeah, but how? That wasn't explained. How does it create a baseline? That we didn't go over that. There wasn't enough explanation on what this actually does in terms of how it creates it. We just said it makes a baseline. How? We need to actually go into depth on how this creates a baseline on a real note. Like, there wasn't enough actually explained on that baseline. Like, we didn't actually explain how this creates new guidelines, how it creates baselines. There wasn't even enough for me to consider like going forward because I did not know what it contained. Anyway, I'm not Russia, so I'll stop speaking now. Thank you.
Okay, I will speak
done.
for, since I was the one who wrote this resolution. For what it's worth, the resolution was there for over 2 days on the agenda, so you could read it if you chose to. What this does isn't just symbolic. It basically says specifically if you troll, if you spam, if you jump around, make irrelevant motions, distractions, or anything that could be considered trolling or disorderly, there is a order of punishments. The first is a warning. The second is barring a representative from speaking on that agenda item. The third warning is removal from the session. And the fourth basically states that if someone is removed twice within a 30-day period, they are barred from attending the next session altogether. It also states that if nations, repeatedly violate decorum over and over, myself or whoever the podcast is after me can request the nation to replace their delegation for future sessions. And of course, there's an appeal system. So if you feel like, you shouldn't have been warned, you can appeal it to the Secretary General. But overall, this bill is pretty in depth. It's still on the agenda if you want to read it. And yeah. Okay, Australia is recognized to speak for. Bring up on stage.
Yeah, so quickly, the thing has been on the agenda, what Rathhausen said, like 2 days. You could have read it. Also, there was a document in the chamber form, so you could have read it there. And second, I think it's important that we bring some professionalism into the chamber. I will take an example of my delegation myself. Streamers sometimes with music trolls around, makes fake motions and everything, and that's a reason why I think it's important that we use this to condemn trolling and make this General Assembly faster, so we could move things quicker along instead of being here for almost 2 hours. Thank you. I yield my time, President.
Thank you. Okay, Macau is allowed to speak against.
All right, thank you very much, Mr. President or Chairman. So I've read through this bill, and I can say it is a decent bill. I'll have to admit it. We do need more professionalism, which is strange coming from me because I'm the #1 troller here. But I have a few complaints. Is that this bill just reinforces already previous rules? It doesn't even do anything. It just says, hey, they can do this, which they were already doing. It doesn't do anything more. I think this bill needs to be worked on, and banning people for 30 days. That's a whole month. That's a bit much. I think we should ban people only for the session after. If they continue to troll, ban them for the next 2 seconds. No, 2 sessions. That's what I have to say. You should make this bill. They have to rewrite this bill a lot. I think this needs more work. Other than that, I yield the rest of my time. Thank you very much.
Okay, a point of information has been raised by Russia. And yes, Russia said that it is not a 30-day ban. Point of information has been raised by Canada. And yes, it is removal from 1 session if you remove twice in a 30-day period. But yeah, assuming there are no other speakers, is there a motion to vote? Is there a second? Motion to vote being raised and seconded. We will now move to vote. Okay, voting is open. Please vote. Okay, counting the EHGA votes, the A's are 11. The nays are still 3. And the abstentions are 7. This resolution just passes and is sent to the Security Council for their approval. Motion revote being raised and seconded. We will now revote. A point of order has been raised. Sure.
Mr. President, you just allowed Croatia to bypass UNDSS and jump onto the stage to harass you. Are we gonna let this happen or what?
I mean, I didn't allow him. He got up and did that on his own. But yeah, I do ask that the Croatian rep please be seated throughout the session. Okay. We'll allow 1 speaker for and 1 against on this revote. Russia is recognized to speak for. You may begin.
So basically, what our representatives have done here, for example, barging into our president of the General Assembly or saying unprofessional conduct in chat and doing weird shit. I think this is another reason that we should eye this resolution. We have to make the United Nations General Assembly right now. It's not at the level that it should be. That should be more professional and more abiding by conduct. I know you may say in the argument that we also do the same things or that others do that, and so we should be able to do. This is a way to stop this from happening, and we have to make the United Nations General Assembly more professional so that it doesn't be considered by a lot of people as an unprofessional chamber. I believe that it is at a level to be respected, and I believe it is at a level to be professional. However, it should be more professional, and it's unacceptable that nations are voting nay against professionalism. I yield.
Thank you. Is there a second to the motion to vote? Okay, a motion to vote being raised and seconded. We will now vote. Okay, voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 12, the Nays are 2, the abstentions are 1. The resolution passes and is sent to the Security Council for their approval. The next resolution is the resolution clarifying mercenaries in the rules of war, proposed by myself and Matt Sulfur. Now, I will go ahead and speak on this resolution since Matt isn't here. So basically, this just fixes a small loophole in the rules of war that we missed when writing them between the definition of mercenary and what is listed under Section 17. Obviously, we don't want nations, recruiting mercenaries or recruiting people mid planning of like war terms. So this just states that, once the ultimatum is issued by a nation, no military group or no nation can recruit, people after the fact. This still allows them to conscript people from their own nation. So like if they have like citizens who want to join their military, they can still do that. But again, no third party groups or third party members can join in the middle of war terms. If you're gonna go to war, you should do that beforehand. And yeah, I think everyone should aid this resolution. It fixes the loophole and it makes sure we can have mercenaries in future wars. Okay, the floor is now open for speakers for and against. Hearing no request to speak and a motion to vote being raised and seconded. We will now move to vote. Voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 10, the Nays are 1, the abstentions are 3. And If we add the votes from each, yay, the A's are 12. The nays are still 1, and the abstentions are 6. The A's are 12, sorry, not 11. Someone did just vote. The resolution passes and is sent to the Security Council. Okay, next on the agenda is a resolution on the definition of espionage proposed by Indonesia. I do not believe they're here today, so we will open the floor for speakers for and against this resolution. Canada is recognized to speak against.
Okay, yeah, let me know. All right. So nobody in the General Assembly or the Security Council, oh, thanks, Chorus, asked Indonesia to create this. This is purely out of spite for them in Malaysia. If you don't know, they were involved in a bit of a conflict, and they currently have a ceasefire. And this resolution to define espionage is their loophole around the ceasefire. So the only reason they've created this resolution is so that they can go to war with Malaysia, and Malaysia hasn't instigated them in the slightest. So there's absolutely no reason to eye this. It's pretty depressing that they have to pass a resolution to try to go to war with another country. So just go ahead and nay it. The proof is in the resolution itself. If you look, they're trying to define espionage to get around their ceasefire definition of espionage, so they can spy on Malaysia and go to war with them. So go ahead and nay it.
Thank you, Canada. Okay, Japan is recognized to speak against, since I do want to allow new speakers to speak. Would you like to stage or just text? Chorus, please raise your hand.
Okay, hello, testing 1, 2, 3.
We can hear you. You may begin.
Okay, thank you. First of all, I would like to say that in Japan, as the emperor, we have good relations with Malaysia, and we think that Indonesia are a piece of shit and should go to hell. And also, Russia is a little bear. US of A, it's actually United States of Roblox, not of America.
Okay, thank you, Japan. I do ask that we keep all our remarks on the stage relevant to the topic we're speaking on. No, because you'd be speaking against the resolution, not against him. So, okay, is there a second to the motion to vote? Oh, if you want to speak against the resolution, we already had two speakers again, so you can. Okay. Okay, of much to vote being raised and seconded, we will now move to vote. Voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 0, the abstentions are 2, and the nays are 10. And if we add the EHJ votes, that is the A's are 2, the nays are still 10, and the abstentions are 3. The resolution fails. Okay, and last but not least on the General Assembly's agenda is the resolution establishing December 7th as Universe Day, proposed by myself. Yeah, I'll allow the floor to speak. So I'll allow Canada to go first and speak against.
Thank you. Mr. President, before I start my speaking time, can I ask that you turn your phone off in the chamber as Samosas has requested?
Yeah.
It's a private event. All right. T Soups is gonna go after me, and I know that she's going to, completely destroy me, and that's fine. I just don't think December 7th is the best day for UNverse Day. I think it should be December 6th, today. So let's go ahead and pass a resolution to make it today, and we'll go ahead and follow that. Yeah, you know what? Greba is actually right. We're gonna make it December 6th, 7, and we're gonna go ahead and go with that. Actually, you know what? Kazakhstan, we can do both days, December 6th and 7. But yeah, you know what, man? Why do we even need a UNverse Day? Like, if I'm gonna raise a point of information to ask what we need. Like, what are we gonna do on UNverse Day? We're gonna come in here and be like, oh yeah, welcome. Sit here for 3 hours, and we're gonna make a bunch of speeches, and oh my god. Just do it on the day of UNverse's anniversary. Thank you, Mr. President. Thank you.
Thank you, Canada. Kazakhstan is invited to speak for.
Hello.
Hello. May begin.
It's always a wonderful day when I get to speak after Sapper, especially when we're on opposing sides. Firstly, Sapper, you're killing the 6-7 meme. You're killing it. When politicians get up here and start saying 6-7, it's over. So thanks for killing that. Secondly, you weren't there on December 7th when we broke away and started this UN. It was a monumental day, and that's why it has to be the 7th. We stormed out of the old UNGA and we formed this, and look how big we are now. We've crushed everyone else, and that's why we deserve this day. And you ask, why do we need a day? The real UN has a day, October 24th, and they celebrate. We should as well. So don't kill the fun, don't kill 6-7, and don't get on stage again. Thank you, I yield.
Thank you. Ireland is recognized to speak for.
Alright, here we go. The 6-7 joke was really unfunny. Let me just start with that. Second of all, I think the 7 is a day, as stated by T Soups, is the day you guys stormed out and you formed your own UN. Look at how big the community is now. This should be a day of celebration. This should be a day where the community comes together and celebrates such a monumentous group of great countries, great people, great development. Sapper, we do not care. I wasn't there either. It doesn't matter. You hate against it for no reason. We are a great community, great people. 7th should be a day where we're all brought together, and we should remember how this amazing team behind me, this amazing group of community engagement, of administrators, of owners who put such hard time into this group, they should get a day to commemorate them, commemorate the people who won the group. Glorious, kill yourself. So
Whoa,
Yeah.
whoa, whoa!
So,
Do not,
yeah, that's
don't
about
say
it.
that. Nope. Nope.
Bye. Bye.
No, no can do. We are not going to come up on stage and tell people to kill themselves. It's not allowed. Okay, are there any other speakers for or against? Japan is recognized to be against. You may begin.
As the Emperor of Japan, I would like to say I am sorry to the butthurt Russian bear for my comments. Now, in regards to the December 7th, I think that it would be stupid for us to have an event because all we're gonna do is just make speeches and not really have anything to do except be bored and blah 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 blah. We're all gonna act like we are real politicians, like we're doing something, but really it's just wasting our lives. So yeah, in terms of that, I think that that is a solid reason for us to not have a Roblox day for the UN. And also, I would like to condemn Ireland for saying that we should kill ourselves. I think that he should do that, and so should Russia. Okay, bye.
Okay, nope. All right. If people come on stage and
Bro, can you just condemn him? Holy shit, he just says these words. What the fuck, man?
okay, I'll deal with it after the session. But again, if you come up on stage and if you tell people to kill themselves or do anything stupid or just make derogatory remarks, you will be moderated. We don't tolerate that here. So, yeah, what is your point of order, Canada? Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, yeah, wonderful. I'm gonna stand when I say this. I think that we should be punishing on the first offense because for weeks now, months now, we've been warning and warning and warning. But it's time that we start punishing people in front of the General Assembly instead of being like, oh, like, don't do it. It's not against you, Rathers, and I'm just saying, like, instead of being, oh, don't do it again, or, it's not tolerated, they're just gonna do it again. And it's gonna happen again. They're gonna keep getting warned. So I feel like we need to remove them both from the session.
Well, we obviously did write in the resolution today that, first warning is a verbal offense, but if they do it again, they'll be barred from speaking on that item, and if they do it a third time, they're removed entirely. So, per the rules, only myself or the vice president can remove representatives. I will not be removing them, but should they, act out again, I will take action against them. We don't allow people to come up on stage and make derogatory remarks. And yeah, their comments are struck from the record. Okay, I think we had two speakers against and one for. So the floor is still open to one more for. If there isn't anyone else who wants to speak, we will take a motion to vote in a second. Okay, Australia wants to speak for. Is that so? Australia, please DM me since I know you can't talk over text. Okay, I'll bring you up on stage and you may speak. Okay, you may begin.
Oh, sorry, my mic was muted. So, I think it's a great opportunity to celebrate things that has been achieved with this group. There are many United Nations in Roblox, and what Japan just said, I can think that's true. Coming back on that point and bringing this to this resolution, we are all here to law up on row politics, because if that wasn't true, you wouldn't be here. You would be just playing Adopt Me or something. I don't care what you play, but please be respectful. Thank you. And I think that's a great bill. Thank you, Redhausen, and I yield my time.
Thank you. Okay, is there a motion to vote? A motion to vote being raised and seconded. We will now move to vote. Voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 8, the nays are 4, the abstentions are 2. If we add the EHA votes, the A's are 10, the nays are still 4, and the abstentions are 3. The resolution passes, and December 7th is now Universe Day for the General Assembly. Okay, are there any further motions to come before the General Assembly? Is there a second to Ireland's request for the floor? Okay, Ireland will be granted the floor for 60 seconds. And yeah, I know we've had a motion to adjourn for Stand 6 proceedings, but I'll allow them to speak. Sure.
So I'd just like to issue an apology to Glorious Revolt. I did not mean what I said. I take it all back. That was pretty mean to me. I did crash out. But he is like my master, and I'm an unpaid worker, and he forces me to make things for him. And so does Four Yorks, by the way. But I still if he says he's paying me 150 quid, don't listen to him. Yeah, but anyway, him Four Yorks make me make assets. But I like to retract my statement, and I'd like to apologize formally. And I'd also like to apologize to anyone else I've said meany things to. I don't mean it. But I'd like to thank you all for coming here today. We did some great things here today. We protected the country of Malaysia, and we got ourselves a day. Also, Japan, can you stop like speaking against everything that makes everyone here happy? You speak against things that are like good things. It's really making me sad. I'm really sad now, and yeah, I'm depressed because of Japan. Love you guys, though. Bye. Yeah, that's it. Can I get moved down now, please?
Okay,
Bye.
is there a second
I'm gonna do
to
cocaine.
Russia's motion to ascend to the Security Council? Okay. We will now debate the matter of Russia ascending to the Security Council. What is your point of information?
Russia was already motioned last week, so they're already on the agenda for today's Security Council session. They don't need to be motioned in the General Assembly.
The General Assembly can vote on it if they want to. It's either one. It doesn't really matter. Okay, I'll allow Russia to speak on their behalf. please raise your hand.
I'm only here because Wrath told me I should motion because I thought I was already like nominated for the Security Council. But whatever. You guys should probably vote aye on our accession to the United Nations Security Council because we have shown a lot of activity and a lot of I suppose a lot of effect on the United Nations verse as a community, as a whole activity. We've managed to revive the East's activity. We've revived an organization that is now as big as, I argue, is the biggest organization right now in United Nations verse. The Collective Security Treaty Organizations. It's an entirely non-biased organization that is run by the Secretariat, that is even divided among its member states. We've managed to broker we've managed to broker a ceasefire agreement between Indonesia and Malaysia that prevents Indonesia to declare war on Malaysia. We're currently actively attempting to solve the situation in Sarawak. We have attempted to de-escalate the situation in Yugoslavia and Croatia, attempting to calm the tensions between both sides. We've attempted to basically bring the East together. We've united the Slavs together now. We have reached a great agreement with the Polish. We are having great relations with them, Ukraine, and we have solved our own issues with them. Who else? Oh yeah, the Belarus Republic. They have switched their sides. I think they like us. They've joined the Collective Security Treaty Organization as well. So, that's going as well. That's going great as well. I'm not aware if I fail this, do I not get in UNSC? I'm not aware, but that's up to the president of the Security Council. I don't know. Wrath told me to motion. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you, Russia. This is not a debate period. What is your point of information? I think there's only one, because Mexico was declared vacant after missing 3 consecutive sessions. Okay, is there a motion to vote? Is there a second? Okay, we will now move to vote. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the ayes are 5, the nays are 4, the abstentions are 3. Russia for the Security Council fails. Are there... Okay, a revote being raised and seconded. We will now revote on Russia ascending to the Security Council. Okay, we will accept motions at this time. Any motions, any seconds to motions? Again, no one is seconding or motioning anything besides the floor. Yeah, we're on a revote. Okay, Canada has the floor.
Thank you. Here, I'll wait for the countdown there. Okay, so when I say this, I don't say it as the president of the Security Council. Just keep that aside. I'm saying this as a Canadian representative. Russia's a good nation, not gonna lie, but all you were doing You were adding up a bunch of small accomplishments that you've made, and some big ones. Yeah, 100%. And yeah, you were pleading your case, of course, but you're not mentioning some of the negative things. And obviously you wouldn't, but there's definitely negatives to every nation coming into the Security Council. Let's not forget the current conflict between you and a few members of our current Security Council. So my concern, as a representative of Canada, hold on, T-Soups. My concern is that these problems are going to be brought to our current peaceful Security Council, and it's going to just create more issues with the Security Council.
Okay, thank you. Bangladesh and Kazakhstan have requested the floor. Ireland has also requested the floor. Is there a second to any of those requests? Okay, Kazakhstan is granted the floor, seconded by Russia.
Hello.
Hello, you may begin.
It's an even more wonderful day because I get to talk after Sapper again. And Sapper, I don't think it's any problem if they're involved in a conflict. I think that shows their activity. You say the UNSC is peaceful. One of the P5s involved in the conflict. Does that not bother you? I think that Russia is not my best friend. I've said that. But they're an active nation. They've proven themselves within the UN. They were top 3 for Nation of the Month. And they're a good group. They're a great group. You can look at their activity for yourself. And I don't think it's any of your business, especially as Canada, to get up here and start talking about Russia. So let them be. They should be on Security Council anyways. They're P5 in real life. And they deserve it. Don't take away spots from deserving nations. Thanks.
Thank you, Kazakhstan. Okay, are there any motions regarding Russia for the Security Council? Is there a second to the motion to vote? Okay, a motion to vote being raised and seconded. We will now move to vote. Voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 8, the Nays are 5, and the abstentions are 2. Russia's ascended to the Security Council. Congratulations. Okay, are there any further motions to be brought before the General Assembly? Motion to adjourn being raised and seconded. Yeah. Motion to adjourn being raised and seconded. We will now vote on adjournment. You can't revote on a revote. All right, voting is open. Please vote. Okay, on this vote, the A's are 12, the Nays are 0, the abstentions are 2. The General Assembly is hereby adjourned. The Security Council will convene shortly.
Okay,